Whenever it's popular to hate on something like it is with Xbox, you see a lot of people like faux hating and trying to invent things and reasons to actually hate on Xbox, which I always thought was kind of stupid. And this latest bit is, I think, taken a little bit away from what Microsoft is actually trying to do and some of the actual momentum that they have, which is unfortunate because they do have a lot of momentum going into Starfield and then Forza and then possibly even Stalker 2 after that, and maybe even if the Activision deal is taken care of, Diablo 4, even though that's already out, but that going to Game Pass would be huge. But anyway, according to this, like, everybody ran with this story like this: Forza Motorsport is going to be missing 3 favorite features at launch. Unfortunately, this, and this, and I'm not hating on anybody that ran with that story because that's how these things kind of wrote. That's how all these articles are wrote, and it's unfortunate, but anyway, Forza Motorsport, the next entry in the racing game franchise, will be missing spectator mode, AI racing, and split screen, which may disappoint some fans. Now listen, here's the thing: listening to the developers talk about it, it sounds like 2 of these things aren't even going to come into this game because there's no need for them, and the third thing, split screen, is something that 0.1% of the people used. I didn't even know that it had split screen. So AI racing and spectator mode, those things, they seem like they aren't going to come at all. Obviously the previous Forza Motorsport games have all been well received and popular. But anyway, we'll see what happens. The absence of the features, it probably isn't going to have much of effect because they have some amazing things to offer. Now, the next entry in the Xbox console exclusive racing game franchise will be missing a few fan favorite features: spectator mode and featured multiplayer, AI racing and featured multiplayer, and split screen. Now, prior to the 2023 Forza Motorsport game, the popular racing franchise had a new entry every 2 years, with most of its games earning quite a bit of critical acclaim and proving popular with fans. The first Forza Motorsport launched in 2005 for the original Xbox and quickly became one of the highest rated racing games of all time. The sequel that dropped a couple of years later earned similar acclaim, as did 2009's Forza Motorsport 3 and 2011's Forza Motorsport 4. Now, 2013's Forza Motorsport 5 was the franchise's first myth. The actual Xbox One launch title was released with significantly less content, leading many to accuse Microsoft of rushing the game's development to meet the Xbox One release date. Luckily, Forza Motorsport 6 and 7 got things back on track. But I will say this about Forza Motorsport 5. I don't feel like they rushed anything. I felt like it was still a solid game. I think the main problem with it was that there wasn't as much because they redid everything from the ground up, like the cars, everything, the tracks. They didn't want to reuse the same assets and stuff that they had previously. So, people really kind of took that out on them. So while there's only 2 years between the releases of Forza Motorsport games, it's been officially 6 years since Forza Motorsport 7 hit the scene, which really means there's a lot of kind of pressure, I guess, on this. Puts even more pressure on the Forza Motorsport to deliver, and it's going to be interested to see if it will be able to bring the franchise back to its former glory, or if it will fall short of expectations. Unfortunately, the fact that the game will be missing spectator mode and featured multiplayer, AI racing, and featured multiplayer and split screen doesn't bode well. According to this article, longtime fans who enjoy those features will be disappointed. But again, those aren't things that actually a lot of people were using. So it's worth pointing out that Forza Motorsport developer delivering the bad news repeatedly said that those fan favorite features won't be in the new racing game. Certainly leaves the door open for the possibility that they could patch these in at some point, but fans will have to wait and see on that front. So some may recall Microsoft offered to patch in split screen for Halo Infinite after launch, only for the feature to eventually be scrapped. It may be best for split screen enthusiasts to keep expectations in check. So the lack of the features is definitely disappointing, but for Forza Motorsport could still be an exceptional racing game without them, as Forza Motorsport graphics are stunning and is packed with cars, game modes, and other content to keep game fans busy for a long time. Plus, anyone not wanting to pay full price for it can also try it out in Game Pass. But the thing that I'll say is this: when it comes to Xbox, people really search for reasons to sort of hate on Xbox, which I always felt was kind of lame to do in the first place, because there's already enough negativity in the world, and then to just kind of add to it, I thought was kind of not the right way to go about things. So I honestly do hope that people kind of understand what's going on when you're making a next-gen console version of a game or whatever. Maybe you don't want to put in everything that was that isn't absolutely needed and that people aren't absolutely clamoring for. And I don't think anybody was clamoring for some of these other features and things like that. So, you know, it'll be very, very interesting to see how this kind of takes off over the next, you know, few months and see what it's rated. You know, I think, you know, obviously having 6 years between the games is going to definitely lead to the game being well done. You know what I mean? Like, people are trying to say, oh, well, it's missing all these features. It's like, it doesn't sound like, from what this developer is saying, to be honest with you, it does not sound like these features are ever going to come to to this version. It's just not in the, they just don't want them, right? Like, if nobody's using something, then why waste resources on it? That's the way I've always kind of looked at things myself, and so that's the kind of way that they're looking at things here as well. So I don't know. It's very interesting to see how people think about it, but people do kind of freak out about this stuff. Let me know what you guys think, though. Do you guys think this is a bad thing? Do you guys think it's a good thing? Sound off. Thanks for watching. Crap Gamer, out.